Hello. So sorry I'm a bit late. I've been having a few technical issues with the new tool that I was using yesterday, where I went live, but apparently didn't actually go live at all. So let me know if you can now see me and what the picture is like, because from my screen I'm kind of breaking up a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's just me with the weather here or what. So let me know if you can see me if you are watching this. Hey Katie, how are you? Can you see me? I was just saying I've had a few technical issues. I was using a new tool and it didn't seem to work. So now I'm going live directly from Facebook, and the picture seems a bit weird. So if you could let me know if you can hear me and see me all right, or if the picture's looking a bit blurry at my end. In the meantime, I shall carry on. So before I get started properly, I am going to check my notes. So today I am talking to you about how to get support as a new business, even when you're just starting out and you don't have much budget. I will hang around for just a moment or two just to see if anyone else wants to join us live, following all these exciting technical issues. It's very bizarre. There's something very bizarre going on. Anyway, so first of all, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to celebrate the launch of my new membership site, Your Business Lounge. This is a community for people who want to quit their 9 to 5 for good and create a business, an online business, doing what they love. That's basically what I did, and I've never been happier, and now I want to help as many people as possible do the same. So I have launched Your Business Lounge for beta testing, and so I am looking for people who will come and help me beta test. So I'll chat a little bit more about it at the end of this live, so that we can dive into the good stuff first. So if you are watching this live, do let me know if you can hear me or see me, because I've had a few technical glitches. And I'm slightly concerned that no one can actually hear me. In fact, I am just going to go and check if I'm live in my page, because otherwise that would be a bit silly. I think I'm struggling with some maybe poor connection or something. I don't know what's going on. Technology, eh? Right, am I there? There I am. Good. Excellent. That's a relief. Right, let's get started. So today's chat is all about how to get support when you are just starting out. And really, that's often when you are most in need of support. You know, you're new to kind of running a business. You feel like you don't really know where to start. Perhaps you don't even know really what your business idea is yet. You know, you're still working through the details of that. It's not at all uncommon to have some major imposter syndrome going on, you know, those kind of feelings of who on earth do I think I am? I can never do this. This isn't the kind of thing that I should be doing. It's other people that will have successful businesses, not me, and all of that kind of stuff going on in your head. Not to mention friends and family looking at you like you're a crazy person. All of that stuff means that you are definitely in need of some support. The problem is when you look out there for support, generally speaking, what you find are kind of high level coaches, masterminds, online courses, all of that stuff, and they cost a lot of money, and probably more money than you can afford if you are just getting started with a new business. So it's kind of like a vicious circle. In order to be able to afford these kind of high ticket coaching courses, etc., you need to be making more money. But in order to start making more money, you need that coaching support, or the information that you're going to get from a course or whatever it may be. So it can be really frustrating, and I completely understand, because I have been there. So the reason that I am talking to you today is to give you a few tips on how you can get support with a low budget so that you're not having to do it alone. You're not having to kind of rely on the kind of free content that's out there that, while is very helpful, isn't the same as, you know, getting proper coaching support or a high ticket kind of course that's kind of full of really detailed how-to information. Because at the end of the day, when you're in this situation, when you need the support, you're just getting started and you can't afford those kind of high priced items, there's kind of two ways you can turn. The first is to kind of decide to go it alone. And yes, that's definitely a way to go, and it stops you getting into debt. But of course, it means you're probably going to go a bit slower because you don't have that support. You don't have the experience of someone who's done it before, and their knowledge and insight. So you're having to kind of make your own mistakes and learn from those, which takes longer. It does. So that's one option. Another option is to consume all the free content out there, and that can be very tempting. And if you watched my Facebook Live yesterday, you'll know how overwhelming that can be. In fact, if you've done it, you'll know how overwhelming that can be. There is so much content out there, so many different voices telling you so many different things, and if you try to listen and watch and read it all, you will be completely swamped by it, and you will never make any progress because you'll spend your whole time consuming content. And at the end of the day, free content is free for a reason. It's only going to get you so far. Very few people are going to give all their best stuff away for free because that's what they're going to use for their paid courses, memberships, coaching, and so on. Plus, it's not going to be personal to you. It's going to be something that's general. And at the end of the day, building a business, yes, there are kind of key principles that will apply in most cases, but a lot of it is actually personal. It's down to how you what motivates you, you know, how you prefer to work, what your own particular customers prefer, and so on and so forth. So a kind of general course, a general, you know, one size fits all blog post, video, whatever it may be, it's never going to be as impactful for you as someone sitting down and going through the detail of your own business, your own mindset issues, and so on, and working through those with you. So that's the other frustration. Something else that you might be able to do is to go to your favourite Facebook group and pop a question in there. And that's something I think we all do on occasion. And to be honest, it's a bit of a lottery. Sometimes you just get no response whatsoever. Sometimes you get tons of responses, all completely different opinions, and you just end up more confused than you were to begin with. And a lot of times you're going to get responses from people whose motive isn't necessarily to help you, but in fact to promote their own things. And so, again, the value of those responses is often questionable. Now, I'm certainly not saying it always is. A lot of times you're going to get some great help and some great value from people who are really out there looking to help people, and that's fantastic. The problem is knowing how to filter that out from all the other stuff that you're going to see. I think I've painted rather a frustrating, slightly depressing picture. Thankfully, that is not the end of the story. And of course, what I'm here to help you with is how you can get around this. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 tips that I have for actually getting some valuable support, that kind of high ticket support, but for a low price. So let's look at tip number 1. So tip number 1 is actually to set up your own support group. Not all business support has to be in the form of kind of teacher-pupil, coaching client relationship. There is a huge amount that can be gained from peer-to-peer support. So finding other people who are going through the same journey as you, who are at a similar level to you, perhaps a little bit ahead, perhaps a little bit behind, and you can kind of support each other. And there is absolutely nothing stopping you from creating a group yourself, from finding a few other like-minded people who are at a similar stage to you and creating a group where you can kind of meet either in person or via Zoom, even by email, and support each other, be there for each other to share experiences, share learnings, learn from each other's mistakes, learn from each other's wins, and having that support, having other people's experiences to learn from, it's infinitely better than doing it all by yourself. So my first tip is go and create your own support group. Don't sort of look at other support groups and kind of think, oh, I wish I had something like that, but I can't afford to join one, or, you know, I haven't got the confidence to go and ask if I can join, or I'm going to sit here and wait to be and hope to be invited to one. Go and do it yourself, and you will find, you know, you will potentially make some brilliant business friends who will be there, you know, all the way through your journey with you, and who you will learn and gain so much from. So that is my first tip. Tip number 2. By the way, if anyone is watching this live, I think I've got one person watching me live. Please do comment and let me know if you can hear me, or see me, and see me, in fact, all right, because I have had a few tech issues getting started. So I'm slightly nervous that I'm talking to myself at the moment, but fingers crossed I'm not. If you're watching in the replay, equally, let me know if this is coming over all right and you can hear me and see me all right. Also, let me know if you have any questions. So let's dive into tip number 2. So tip number 2 is consider service swaps. It's kind of, what I mean by that is kind of like a bartering situation. So there is nothing to stop you. Say, for example, you're a photographer, and you are desperately in need of some marketing help. There is absolutely nothing to stop you going out there and offering your photography services in exchange for some marketing support, because the chances are that there is someone out there whose expertise is marketing, but who is desperately in need of some photography advice, or perhaps some brand photos, or whatever it may be. So look at where you can kind of make those swaps and do that kind of bartering, and that has an added bonus, because actually not only are you able to kind of get that help and support, but you're able to offer out help and support to someone else, and potentially then give each other those kind of testimonials and that kind of social proof. Ooh, sorry. That kind of social proof that is so important, especially when you are just starting out. So consider swapping services. Think about what you're most in need of yourself, and what you are able to offer to other people, and go out there, you know, go into Facebook groups, try LinkedIn, try Twitter, whatever kind of social media that you spend most of your time in, and see what you can find. The worst that can happen is that, you know, you don't find anyone, but you may find perfect fit and both be able to help each other, and give each other that social proof and that experience that is so valuable. So that's tip number 2. Again, if you have any questions or comments, do let me know. Very sadly, my original plan was to do this through the tool that I used yesterday, which was called BeLive TV, and which allowed me to set up a system whereby you could type if you wanted to subscribe for reminders. But unfortunately, that system doesn't seem to be working today. So there we go, good old technology. So on to tip number 3. Now, tip number 3 is to look out for beta testing opportunities. And yes, this is a plug for my own beta testing requirements, but also because it can be a great opportunity. Most coaches, course creators, sort of service providers, whatever it may be, want to test out their new products and services before they put them out to market, because at the end of the day, that's just good business sense. You need to, you know, test the waters, get good customer feedback, and work out, you know, what you've done well, what you haven't done well, what you can improve, so that when it comes to kind of launching whatever it is onto the market, you know that you're launching something that people actually want, actually need, and are actually going to pay for. So there are plenty of beta opportunities out there where people are looking for someone to test their product, test their service at a much, much lower cost. So basically, you know, for a fraction of the cost at what it will be launched at, you can get in and sample a product, get all the value from it in return for some feedback. And, you know, it's a great way to get those kind of high ticket goods for a very low price. Often it's actually free. Often people will ask people to beta test for free, but even if it's not, it will generally be at a much lower price than it will eventually be launched at. So keep an eye out for those opportunities. Again, you will find those in Facebook groups, in forums, in LinkedIn. And if you can't see any, then put yourself out there. You know, go. You know, is there by any chance anyone looking for beta testers for something related to da da da? And again, the worst that can happen is that you don't hear anything, but you may find something, and what a fantastic opportunity. And yes, that does lead me beautifully into my current beta test for Your Business Lounge. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the lounge. We are based on 4 key pillars. So I said at the start of this live that Your Business Lounge is for people who are still working a 9 to 5, but who want to leave that job and create a business doing what they love. So you will either be still in the kind of idea stage, trying to come up with something that you want to do, a business that you would actually like to start, or perhaps you're a little bit further along, you're actually kind of getting your business set up. You might even already be making a bit of money from the business, but you're just not yet at the point where you would be able to quit your 9 to 5 for good. And this community is there to give you that support. And the 4 pillars that it is built on are study, I nearly stuttered at study then, study, support, social, and service. Nearly forgot for a minute. So I'm going to just dip into those in a little bit more detail. So study, fairly self-explanatory. This is all about kind of self-study. So it's you will get access to a library of online courses and trainings. Now, again, if you watched yesterday's Facebook Live, I was talking about how overwhelming that can be. So what I've actually done is split that training up into 3 stages. And so you'll have the opportunity to take a quiz, which will tell you which stage you're at with your business, and then suggest which of those courses and trainings you're best off prioritizing, so that you can then just kind of focus on a few at a time and not kind of feel completely overwhelmed by information. So that's the study element. The support element is really more about what I've been talking about today. So that's when you've kind of got that support of someone else, whether it be peer-to-peer or kind of more the sort of coach to client type support. So what that looks like in Your Business Lounge is that we have mastermind calls each week, where we will have the opportunity to chat about our business goals, what we're working on at the moment, what's gone well, what's not gone so well, and kind of bounce ideas off each other and just kind of get that support, get that extra ideas and all of that kind of good stuff. We also have hot seat coaching calls once a fortnight, where you can register for a 30-minute one-to-one coaching slot with me. The call itself will be open to everyone, so even if you're not on the hot seat, you can still join the call and benefit from the discussion itself. But if you want to, you can register for a hot seat and get 30 minutes kind of one-to-one, where we specifically focus on your business and any particular challenge or project that you're working on. And then lastly, we have Q&As, so they will also be fortnightly. Oops, sorry, bashing my wedding ring on my table there. Fortnightly Q&As, so at any point you can submit a question, and we will go through all of the questions in those fortnightly Q&As, which will happen sometimes in Facebook Live, sometimes in our virtual office that we've got going, and sometimes potentially might be pre-recorded as well. So that's the support element. Socially, so this is so important. It can be really easy to feel quite alone when you are an entrepreneur, when you're trying to build a business, and especially, again, when you are just starting out and it all feels quite new. Your friends and family still might be a bit like not quite sure what you're up to, and it does feel a little bit lonely. So that social element is so important. So we've got lots of opportunities where you can kind of connect on a social level too with your fellow members. We have a private Facebook group. We also have a forum where you can kind of pop in and chat about various different things. We have our virtual office, which is great fun, which is actually where you can go in and you can either use kind of like instant chat, or you can connect via video and audio and chat that way too. So that's quite good fun. Or if you prefer more of a one-on-one contact, we have you can register for an accountability partner. So we'll match you up. You'll answer a few questions, and we will try and match you up to someone who we see as a good fit for where you are with your business and what you're kind of looking for from an accountability partner. And then we'll put you in contact with each other and then leave you to meet up as and when you see fit, and to kind of help and support each other, keep each other accountable, and all of that good stuff. So that's the social side of things. And then lastly, we have service. So even when you're just starting out, you can still be of huge service to others. And I think that's a really key part of helping you when you are building a business. It's feeling like you are still of use, because when you're just starting out, again, it can be very easy to feel like you're not doing anything useful yet, because you're perhaps not making money yet, or you're not, you're needing more help than you're being able to give out. But you can still do more than you think you can. So we have that service element as well. And what that looks like in YBL, Your Business Lounge, is we have a business directory. So you can add your own business details to our directory, and you can also then use that directory, and are encouraged to do so, if you are looking for a service or product yourself, so that we're basically supporting each other as members. We also have notice boards. So perhaps you're looking for a guest post, or perhaps you're wanting to promote something new that you're working on. Whatever it may be, you can make use of our notice boards. And then lastly, oh, my mind's gone blank. What's the last one? Oh, member offers. Member offers. So you are encouraged. This is by no means, enforced, but you're encouraged to think what you can offer to your other members in terms of perhaps a discount for your products and services, or a bonus, or even a freebie, whatever that may be for you. And to add that, we have a kind of member offers section, so that you can give back to your fellow members, and in turn they can give back to you, and you can benefit from their offers. So that's it. Those are our 4 key pillars. I'm very excited about it. This is my absolute baby at the moment. I've been working very hard on it for some time now, and I really want people to come and try it. We've got a few people in already who I have got some great feedback from, and I'm looking for a few more to come and join us and basically just test out the site, see what you think, give me some feedback. You will get to benefit from all of that good stuff that I've just described for £5 a month for 2 months, so very little. And then after those 2 months, you can either choose to sign up at the launch price, which is going to be £19.99 per month, or to leave. No hard feelings, and I will be very grateful to you just for having joined and give me your feedback. So that's the opportunity. If you are at all interested, I shall leave a link in the comments where you can go and get a bit more information on the site itself and how to sign up to be a beta tester. And that's it. I don't think I've seen any questions. Let's have a little look. No. Okay. Well, I shall be back again tomorrow. So I shall see you then, and have a lovely evening, or rest of your day, depending on where you are.